Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thought I'd wear a hat with a headband made of dough art beads containing a heart, which I made while recovering from cancer about 8 years ago. It was almost all I could do at the time. And here's a hat tip to all the chicks and dudes that are watching this somewhat embellished, far-out video, especially the ones who leave comments and are subscribed. I painted red-faced lovers a number of years ago, which are sometimes associated with death and destruction, because of the poem In Flanders Fields, which was written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae just before he was killed during World War I. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row and row. Perhaps the poppies in McCrae's poem signified violence, but I can tell you, the afternoon I painted red-faced lovers, death was not even a consideration. As a matter of fact, I can honestly tell you, if the red poppy signified anything at all that day, it was life in the magnificent throes of wonderful passion. Visualize this if you can. There I was, sitting on a chair, with the summer sun relentlessly beating down on me. What can I say? It was a very hot day. But I came prepared. I had doused myself with sunscreen and was wearing a hat. Not this one. No, it was large, much larger, and as wide as a Mexican sombrero. Besides my box of paints, brushes, and easel, I brought along a case of cold beer. Now for me, life just doesn't get much better than that. A brush in one hand and a cold frosty beer in the other. So there I sat in my chair, minding my own business, splashing verdant greens across the canvas for the grass, dabbing crimson reds for bobbing poppies, not to mention blending brilliant blues for the sky. When suddenly the birds quit chirping. Even the bugs quit humming. Imagine that. The summer breeze hadn't quit blowing because I could see the tall grass and poppies swaying and dancing to the rhythm of the wind. Everything was silent for a few moments, and then I heard some unusual noises, which I've been known to make from time to time. Oops, oh no, I hope you can't tell that my face is turning a little red at the moment. Although the breeze was sighing through the grass, the sighs I heard weren't caused by the wind. Oh no, and there weren't any bugs or birds creating those noises. Well, as you can imagine, it was one of life's awkward moments. Sort of like wetting your pants in a public place. I was afraid to continue painting, and of course packing up was out of the question too. What was I to do? I just sat there, as quiet as a field mouse, all the time making sure my face was hidden behind the canvas. I didn't want to see anything I wasn't supposed to see, but I have to admit, it was more than a little tempting not to take a peek. However, the more rapid the sighs and moans became, the faster my cold beers began going down. Matter of fact, I can't remember chugging down beers that fast as I did that afternoon. There I was, trying to be so quiet, minding my own business, when either the cold beers went to my head or I leaned too freaking far back in my chair, because the next thing I knew, I toppled over backwards and my feet kicked the blasted easel high into the air, which made one heck of a clatter when everything hit the ground. I don't know how I managed not to spill a drop of beer, but talk about silence. Everything went quiet, quieter than a dead man's tomb, so quiet you could have heard a slug sliding along the ground. You got it. Two red-faced lovers, naked as a couple of jaybirds, were staring back at me. They didn't say anything, just quickly ducked down, and I could tell by the parting of the grass they were leaving in a rather hurried manner. I don't know who was more embarrassed, me or them. And that's it. That's pretty much the story of how I created the red-faced lovers. I hope this little rant made you smile, laugh out loud, or at least enjoy the comedic actions of the two lovers of this old artist. Cheers, eh?